Okay, hi guys, welcome back. This is Think Harder. I'm Sheen.
Johnny.
We're continuing our series about food, health, and diet. So today we want to talk about fats. I mean, for longest I can remember, every news report, every commercial,
Yeah.
in saying like eat less fat. You want to eat low fat stuff.
Yeah.
Have a low fat diet, and you want to lose weight, exercise, eat a low fat diet. Blah
Yeah.
blah blah. So we want to dive into like what is fat,
Yeah.
what's the history of fat, and why has this information been out there that stop eating fat? I mean, because there's the market now is full of like low fat this, fat free this.
Yeah.
Why are people still so fat?
I feel like, our generation, that's how we grew up on low fat,
Yeah.
eat low fat stuff. And I think for the longest time, I was eating low fat.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact history.
Why am I still fat?
Yeah, why am I still fat? It doesn't make any sense. I forgot the exact history of it. Well, I think it has to do with like Eisenhower had a heart attack, and someone that did the research, someone that did the research, I can't remember the person's name, but he wasn't, he wasn't like a true scientist,
Mhm.
And he came up with the conclusion that eating fat is bad, and that's what's causing people to have a heart attack.
Yeah.
And that's when the whole regulation came out and saying, eat low fat food,
Right. Yeah. So we'll put a link to that video. It's a really good video. I think it came Time Magazine did it or something.
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
So we'll put a link to that video,
Yeah.
and then
Y'all can watch it.
take a look at that video because it was really good information.
Yeah.
But basically, it had a report
Yeah.
done with multiple different companies,
Yeah.
and the report basically came out that fat is what's killing you. It's
Yeah.
bad for you, and so from that point on,
Especially like saturated fat,
Right.
that was the
everyone was saying, "Oh, we got to stay away from
Yeah.
fat."
So the keto diet kind of made me realize that fat is not as bad as people make it out to be, and things are a lot more complicated than you think it is. Anything that's like low fat, it tends to be high in carbs,
Right.
and because without fat, things taste terrible, and the only way you can compensate it is make it a high carb and high sugar, product,
Right.
So that's
Otherwise, it tastes horrible.
that's horrible. And problem with high carb product is you're never satiated, like you don't feel full,
Right.
So it's like you ate something and a couple hours later you want to eat again,
Right.
and then you tend to overeat
Right.
that way, like butter will keep you full,
Mhm.
like olive oil will keep you full.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, I remember like in the video, it talks about, oh, this is what fat looks like
Yeah.
after it solidifies.
Yeah.
You want this in your arteries.
Yes.
You want this, in your system. This is
Yeah.
what's going to kill you. That's why, fat doesn't dissolve.
Yeah.
And so that, I mean, our current research is that that's not true. That's not
No.
how fat acts in the body at all.
No, it's very complicated. I think nutrition is like a very sensitive subject
Mhm.
because there's so many studies out there, and it really, like, you gotta look at how the study. I mean, no one reads the studies. Like, no one sits down and like, oh, let's see how they did it, how they,
Mhm.
a lot of them are like a survey study. They'll hand you a little piece of paper. Oh, what did you eat for blah blah blah, and that's how they come up with a lot of the solution, and they're not accurate.
Right.
The people are not true about what they ate, and the combination of food has a lot of effects on it than you realize.
Right.
If you're eating fat with a high carb diet, it might not be a good combination.
Mhm.
So I feel like whatever you see in nature is very balanced. Apple is very balanced. Meat is like a grass-fed. Beef is very balanced. So you don't have to think that hard. I don't think you have to think all that micro level. Oh, should I eat this? How many percent? I mean, nature has all that for you already.
It's been figured out.
It's been figured out. I think whenever humans try to figure it out, they try to screw it up more.
Right. Well, I mean, for thousands of years,
Yeah.
people have been eating fat. Like,
Yeah.
like there was no such thing as cooking oil.
Yeah.
I mean, back how many years? I mean,
Yeah.
I think like Crisco and all this type of stuff came out in the 40s or 50s, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But I mean, before that, what you cooked with was animal fat, right?
Yeah.
You want to fry an egg or something, you just take the fat from an animal,
Yeah.
and then that's what you used for frying things, for cooking things. I
Yeah.
mean, people have been eating fats for thousands of centuries,
Yeah.
right? The Inuit, the Eskimos,
Yeah.
I mean, they just eat blubber. They
Yeah.
just
Yeah. And
fat,
that's how, yeah.
and they just eat it. They eat seal fat, whale fat.
Yeah.
We were talking about Life Below Zero.
Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah.
They're just the guy Glenn Villeneuve.
Yeah. Again, Blair is my hero.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just like eating pounds and pounds
the
of fat.
fat, yeah, because he has no access to carbohydrates, so
Right.
he has to eat. Like, he can't grow vegetable.
Right.
And look at his body. I mean, solid. He's in good shape.
Right.
Very healthy. Like you don't. It just. I don't know why fat has such a bad reputation. I mean, we kind of know why, but
Yeah.
it's kind of.
Well, I mean, so number one, from the Time Magazine
Yeah.
in this article and in the history of the report that came out.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that was the first time, but I think that's when the more people were thinking about what is fat, and
Yeah.
let's start eating a low fat diet.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah, that's screwed. I mean, that's what spiked up the obesity, that spiked up diabetes. You know,
right,
if you look at the correlation
from this
yeah,
one report, right?
Yeah, from one report.
And then in the video, at
Yeah.
the end, it does explain that that some of the data wasn't necessarily read
correctly.
or
Yeah.
interpreted correctly.
Correctly. Yeah.
Um,
I mean, that's a problem with science. I feel like people just throw out the word science too much.
yeah, and it's
And
like who's doing the science, who's doing the
Yeah.
research, who is it being funded by? I
Exactly.
mean, those are the things you kind of have to look at. I mean, like Coca-Cola
Yeah.
has their own, research, and of
Yeah.
course, their research is going to say Coca-Cola's not that bad for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
it's not.
And so, I mean,
Yeah.
in the research that they produced, it's probably not going to say
Yeah.
funded by Coca-Cola,
Exactly.
but it's funded by somebody,
yeah.
and there's always a ulterior motive
I
about.
think what makes it complicated is like if you eat poison, you're dead right then, right? You know it's bad for you.
Right.
Coca-Cola. I mean, you could have a healthy person drinking Coca-Cola.
Yeah, you could drink Coca-Cola for years and years.
Years and years, it'd be fine.
Right.
But if you eat responsibly, you're probably fine. Like if you're one of those skinny, healthy person, you run every day. You don't eat in excess. You have Coke once a day or twice a day, you'd be fine.
Right.
And you might live to a long, long time. So people think, yeah, he drinks Coca-Cola, he's fine. I mean,
Right.
why does you gotta look at it in a big picture.
Right.
Yeah.
But I remember I saw one video. I'm not sure if it's the same video,
Yeah.
but they were talking about the history of. I think it is this video. I'm not sure, but the history of when the food companies started pushing all of this oils on us,
Yeah.
about like vegetable oil, corn oil,
Yeah.
all these type of oils, and like before that, like I was saying, most people were using lard.
Yeah.
Like probably anybody's great grandmother,
Yeah.
great grandmother, great great grandmother.
Used
What'd you
lard.
cook with?
Yeah.
We use lard, like.
Yeah.
But there was a point in our history
Yeah.
that the food companies were like, we got to sell more stuff. Well,
Yeah.
Well, let's put bad publicity about
Yeah.
lard. We don't want to eat lard. It's bad for
I
you.
feel like Malcolm Gladwell had a podcast about that.
I
know,
think so.
Yeah,
I
but he was
forgot
saying,
where-
I think it was like McDonald's. They made McDonald's change it from animal fat to
yeah, I remember that one too.
so like they had a good intention. They wanted to save people from having a heart attack.
Right.
So they were pushing all this agenda, saying, "Hey, you gotta." So I think guy that pushed it, I mean, he was not a corporate guy. He was
Right.
more like, "Hey, you want to save people? You want to make people
Right.
healthy? Let's push,
Right.
health industry. I mean, push food industry to,
Yeah, the food industry makes millions and millions upon billions of dollars,
yeah,
and they don't necessarily have your health in mind. They're
yeah.
They're
I
interested
mean,
in making
should
profits,
they? I
right?
mean, that's the thing. I think that's the argument I guess me and you always have. It's like should people be responsible for themselves? Or should they?
Yeah. I completely agree. They shouldn't. I mean,
Yeah.
who cares? I mean, why would they care
Yeah.
about? I mean, your health. I mean, they shouldn't.
Yeah.
The only thing I dislike and I don't agree is if you're doing it like in a like a sneaky way.
Yeah.
Like if you're upfront about it, like, okay,
Yeah.
look, this stuff is not good for you, but it tastes good. You
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you go around and completely lie about it and say,
Yeah.
this is good for you, just like cigarettes.
Yeah.
At one point, you're saying, oh yeah, cigarettes are good for you, makes you
Yeah.
stronger, makes you a man,
Yeah.
right? I mean, if you're just completely just lying to the public,
Yeah.
lying to your customers, then that's the line that I have.
Yeah.
Like if you're not lying and you're straightforward and be like, hey,
Yeah.
this stuff is not good for you, but
Yeah.
you're your own person, make your own decisions.
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah. Not necessarily government have a regulation or I mean there should be some regulation, but government doesn't need to be like your babysitter.
Yeah, up to a point, because
Yeah.
once you get, once these companies start spending billions of dollars and like influencing laws and decisions.
Yeah.
I mean, they're spending money because they have that much money to influence things.
Yeah.
And that's where the line gets drawn. We're like,
Yeah.
now you're just being kind of more evil.
Yeah,
Like if
that's
you're
for sure.
doing something that you're producing something bad, but people
Yeah.
like it, then people have all the right to buy it and eat it and smoke it and
Yeah.
do anything they want. But if you're changing laws by using your money,
Yeah.
then that's kind of where the line gets
That's true.
Gets-
Yeah. I mean
gets-
that means you're being evil.
right.
Kind of. Yeah.
And so that's kind of the basically.
So
the
what do you
line.
think is the right diet? What do you think? I mean, there's keto diet now. There's paleo diet. There's calorie in, calorie out diet. And there are a lot of Asian countries that eat high carb food and they're
Right.
skinny. So what do you think overall? What's a good
Yeah,
diet to have?
I mean, I think the key from our previous video was the less processed, the better.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you could really eat anything that is not processed. If you think about it, if you just go through your whole day and think about what you ate, what percentage of what you ate today or yesterday
Yeah.
was processed,
Yeah.
and then the next day try to go the whole day with eating everything that's
Yeah.
not processed.
Yeah.
I mean, and like meaning,
Sometimes I think like people don't understand what process is. Like explain people to me.
right? Yeah. So I mean, a lot of things are processed, right? I mean, like milk is processed.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, there's obviously levels of processing,
Process,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
I mean, like, yes, I mean, it's not really realistic for most people to just have milk straight from the cow. 'Cause,
Yeah.
you know, we,
Yeah,
we,
you
live,
gotta-
in, we
yeah.
live in the city, and
Yeah, we're not
we don't live in a
savages,
farm.
Yeah.
We don't want to just suck on milk.
Yeah, straight from the cow,
straight
yeah.
from the teat.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a difference between milk that has been processed
Yeah.
and a potato that has been processed.
Yeah.
You know, like a potato is processed, and then multiple things are added to it,
Yeah.
and then bagged, and
Yeah.
then it becomes potato chips.
You don't recognize it being potato.
Right? It doesn't even look like it.
It doesn't look like it doesn't look like a
Yeah,
potato.
probably that's the key. If
Yeah.
it doesn't look like what it
used to be. Yeah. Yeah. Don't eat it.
then that's probably the line that we should draw, right?
Yeah. I mean, boiling is okay. Obviously, frying is okay to a point, but
Yeah.
yeah, like process, like vegetable oil. I thought was for the longest time. I really thought it was from like pressing the vegetable oil and you get all the
Yeah.
oil.
So I mean, that stuff is
But it's not, right? Vegetable is from the seed. So without machines, you can never make vegetable oils.
yeah.
So it's a highly processed.
It's highly processed, and and also the seed itself
yeah.
has been modified genetically
Yeah.
so many times in so many years.
Yeah.
Like the vegetable seeds, the corn
Yeah.
that we have today is not the same corn that's been around for
Yeah.
hundreds and hundreds of years.
The argument will be a lot of people will be doing that, or like a whole human history. Like the apple you're eating today or the watermelon you're eating
Right.
today. It's not what it looked like.
Right.
I think I read it. Read it somewhere. I can't remember what it is. Like fruits in the past, like thousands of years ago.
Yeah, well, all fruits had seeds in them, right?
Yeah, all fruit has seeds in them, and they're as sweet as carrot was.
Right.
Like that's the most sweetest thing you can eat. So we genetically modified them. We breed it. We bred stuff in a way that to our liking.
Right.
So yeah, so the fruit that you're eating today, it's not like it's been genetically modified.
Right.
But there's a limit to everything. I feel like. So
Right. I mean, there's a limit to that. I mean, but also, like you said, you're extracting this oil from these seeds.
Yeah, if you can't get oil without a machine, then it's not.
Right.
Yeah, that's not. Olive oil. I mean, you can press the oil, you can see the oil coming out. So that's normal. That's good.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's not normal to get oil from corn.
Yeah, I mean, corns are solid. Like you see, it's hard. Like
Who figured that out?
Yeah, your bare hand, you can't get corn oil.
Right.
So yeah, that's the way you gotta have it.
Yeah, but I mean, some genius figured it out, and
Yeah, it's cheap, and it's really cheap,
and it makes billions and billions of
per
dollars.
dollar. That's the issue.
Right. So,
Yeah, I mean, it is expensive. Food is expensive, no doubt. But
Right. And it's funny, right?
Yeah.
The less you process it,
yeah,
the more expensive it is.
yeah, which is that tells you something, right?
Right.
That definitely tells you something. So I was gonna ask you, what do you think about the vegan diet? I mean, there's a big push. Meat is evil.
I mean,
Uh,
I don't know much about it other than you don't eat any animal,
yeah,
anything that's really alive other than
yeah.
plants.
To me, like if you're doing it because you feel bad for the animal, I totally understand.
Right.
I sympathize with that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're doing it for health reason, I think it's a wrong way to think it.
And what's the history behind it? What's the science?
I think obviously, if you all of a sudden get rid of all the junk food and you start eating just vegetables, most vegetables are not processed.
Right.
Obviously you're gonna lose weight. You're gonna feel great.
Yeah, well,
So-
I mean, I think the human body is not is not designed for that. If you do that, you have to be very careful, and you have to have a lot of supplements to get the
Yeah,
things
there's
that you
certain. I
can't
mean,
get.
now the argument you can get it from all kinds of vegetable, but I mean, back then people didn't have access to all types of vegetable, in the human history. Now you do. So maybe you can get away with it. You can get your nutrition just eating vegan food. But and nothing wrong with that. But I think I have a problem when you say, "Oh, meat is evil." And that's when you're like, "Okay, come on." So yeah, some people are praying healthy. It's not because they're eating vegetable so much. It's because they're getting rid of processed food. They're getting rid of they're eating healthier automatically. So you're gonna
Right.
feel great.
Right.
But you can also feel great eating meat.
Yeah, because you can't be a vegan and eat potato chips, can you?
I think you can eat potato chips,
Okay.
but I think they don't. It's
It's not part of the vegan diet.
a lot of vegans that don't. I think you do, but it's just like you. That's the thing. That's the argument I was gonna make. There are a lot of vegan. They're fat.
Mm-hmm.
Not every vegans are healthy.
Right.
If you notice, they are. So that's my point. So they are vegan.
I'm vegan. I only eat chips and soda.
Yeah. So they are eating sodas and they are eating chips, and they're vegan and they're not losing weight.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not because the meat is so evil. It's because you're eating all this processed food.
Right.
Where there are some vegans that don't eat potato chips and sodas, and they're eating like a raw vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
And their life is great,
Mhm.
and because they are not eating the processed food. So my point is the processed food, that's what's causing you to, or highly sugary food,
Right.
causing you fat. It's not because of the meat,
Right.
But meat industry is definitely corrupt. Corrupt in the sense that they make it very cheap,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not the most nutritious, meat you can buy.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of cows are fed corn and all
Mhm.
kinds of GMO products,
Right.
and it's not the healthiest meat.
Mhm.
But to me, if you eat grass-fed meat, or if
Mhm.
you go hunting and you get something from nature,
Right.
I think you'll be fine.
Right.
Yeah, you shouldn't get that bad
Right.
rep.
Yeah. But I mean, there's I mean, I think the key to our series is the processed food. I mean, so there's a level of processing, and there's a level of modified foods that is semi okay for our current society. People are working. It's not really realistic to just, I mean, and people's finances to. I mean, I'm only going to eat grass-fed beef. I mean, of course, if you could do that, all more power to you.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's just levels. I mean, if you can just eat grass-fed beef and meat and things like that, great. If you could just eat vegetables from your own garden, that's great.
Yeah.
But
not too many people.
Well, not too many people can do that. So, but a lot of people can cut out, your sodas, can cut out your chips and your snacks and your processed food. So that part is more realistic, right?
Yeah, anything that comes in a packet. I try to avoid canned food, in general.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't know why. Why can't we move towards a direction where you cook your food every day? I know the time is busy, but just learn how to cook. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, we're kind of going away from that. I mean, there's been a push with all those companies that ship the food to you, and then and you cook it. It's pretty expensive.
Yeah, it's way. I mean, nobody can afford it. I feel like.
I mean, and I did that for a little bit, and then it comes in these huge packages. Yeah. And I'm just thinking, they spent a fortune on this packaging.
Yeah, itself. Yeah. Yeah. There's no.
But it was good food.
I was thinking like grilling and stuff doesn't take that long. Just like learn. I mean, there's ways. I mean, you think it's a lot hard. Just learn. Yeah. I think there should be a push. Like, hey, this is the way you can make food really quickly and it tastes great. Right. I think there's just not enough. I think we just got too used to everything just being packaged and going to a drive-through, getting your burgers, and we can change the culture. Right. Yeah. So I think that's we kind of covered what we're gonna talk about. Right. I want to talk about the health at some point. How food is causing all this health-related issue. Mm-hmm. What do you think about diabetes in general? Like, what's you think it's all food related, or is it something? Because you just see spike in diabetes all of a sudden. Right. Whenever we're into low fat. So you think it's just more of is it really just a diet issue, or is it more of a genetic issue, or what do you?
I'm thinking it's more of a diet issue. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a trend. I mean, people are thinking might be the issue, because there are people reversing their diabetes through low carb diet. Mm-hmm. I think it's just you just have too much sugar in your body, and you just need to get rid of it. Right. And so there are some people that are reversing their diabetes, unless you have a problem with your pancreas. Obviously, that's a different issue. I think the trend is like your pancreas is fine. You just have too much carbohydrate and
sugars, right?
Sugar, you just need to cut it out. I guess one of the issue is just work. Like, how do you? I think lunch is the biggest issue for people. And also, like, when you go out to eat with friends, it's kind of hard to say no. Like, you have all this, Right. So I think it's like a culture you need to shift. Right. The culture needs to shift.
Yeah. What I want to say is if you just go back 100 years, 75 years, and just think about how people ate then. Yeah. And if we go back, because I think capitalism and our society and it's just been going crazy. Yes. It's just been going to a point where, like, we need to have the pendulum swing back the opposite way and just bring back things back in check, back in line.
Like, good things that we have, keep it, and then go back to
the big screen TVs, the internet,
technology and all that is great.
Yeah, that's great. Let's keep that. Yeah. But I mean, some things have been just going crazy. Like the food, the food, diet, and these things have been healthcare. These things have been going
the other way around.
Just all the way off the charts, and we just need to have the pendulum swing back. So if you think about how people were eating, a century ago. Yeah. What they were eating, cut out all the processed stuff, cut out all the sugary stuff. Yeah. And also the frequency of your eating. If you're thinking about going back throughout the human history, people were not eating 3 times, 7 times a day.
Yeah, like constantly moving. It's not. Right. It's not a.
and so the whole thing with the intermediate fasting is like you are giving your body a break. Yeah. Because I mean, if you're eating 3 times a day, 7 times a day, snacks in between, your body is always processing food. If you're always processing food, your insulin is always up. Yeah. And your insulin has never has a chance to slow down and bring your levels back down. Yeah. So your body starts to think, oh, well, this is the normal. My insulin's supposed to be this high 24 hours a day. And then that's how your body continues on for years and years and years. Yeah. And that's how you eventually develop diabetes. So if you slow down and just say, I need to slow down and cut my meals down to either 2 times a day, 1 time a day, or just try fasting, your body will be like, okay, well, this is the new normal. So now I eat, my insulin goes up, I process my food, and then I don't eat for another 8, 9, 10 hours. My insulin goes back down to normal levels, and it gives your body and your pancreas a break, right?
Yeah. I do want to make a point though, like we all are different. Like not everyone can have the same diet. You know, like our body types are different, our cultures are different.
Right.
So there are some people
but
that
there is nobody that is supposed to eat seven times a day.
That's out of the norm. But there are some people that do need to eat 3 times a day. That's for sure. People that has high metabolism.
I mean, if you're running marathons, if you're like NFL athlete, I mean, you're eating probably 7 times a day. You're eating huge meals, but I mean, it depends on who you are.
But there are some people that they're very skinny, like they're high metabolism, they don't eat. So for them, I feel like they do need to eat high carb food, but they'll burn it off. I mean, those people can afford it. But if you're one of those heavy type of person, and no, you don't need to eat that much. But a lot of some people go away with the whole calorie in, calorie out thing. I feel like that's the most popular diet. But yes, you could do it, and it works for a couple of people, but it's like a dangerous thing for me because it's easy to fall off from it. It's easy to overeat from it, and easy to get into bad habits again. Right. You know, you got to think about the big picture. You got to think about the big picture and long-term picture. I feel like calorie in, calorie out. The food industry loves it because every food is safe. Everything is based on calories, but you got to think about the hormones, how the hormone works in your body. You know. So you gotta look at the big picture, and you gotta think about the long-term thing, not a short-term thing. I don't think not all calories are the same. They're not processed the same in your body. They're processed in a different way. Another thing I was gonna mention too is that like the whole you talk about capitalism and how I think one of the biggest thing is like now you need 2 people working for most households to survive. For the longest time, you had your wife, cook, and you didn't have to worry about that thing. Like you say, like you order food and. Before, like your wife was able to cook it. You could survive with one income, and most people cannot. So that part of capitalism I don't like. That you just need constantly. That system needs to change. That's when it becomes this evil.
Well, I mean, things get more expensive. Yeah, and then you want to have more things. You want to buy more things.
Yeah, maybe we should have a topic about that, like what good and bad. I think we did have a capitalism. We talked about it, but we never talked about. I guess more of a philosophical way, like, do we all need a 5-bedroom house? Like, is it okay to want things, more items, stuff like that? I think it all kind of ties up to it, Yeah, but cool. We'll end it.
All right. Yeah. Well, thanks for listening to us. Like, comment, subscribe.
Give us your opinion. And the food is a big topic, and a lot of people have a lot of different opinions, so feel free to comment on it.
All right. We'll catch you in the next one.
All right. See you guys later.
Bye.